Joining us now is Douglas Holtz-Eakin, and former director of the CBO, of course worked in the Bush administration, and now America Action Forum. Hello, Douglas.
Hi, how are you?
Good to talk to you again. All right, so this issue, and I'm really shocked, quite frankly, that the media actually, at least some of them, and at least for a day prior to the announcement that the president made, actually pointed out the hypocrisy here. I think CNN actually said the president stuck his hand into a blender with this, and they went after Carney slightly at the press briefing, and it just shows that this is made out of whole cloth.
Yeah, I think the politics of this are obvious. Democrats want to turn out lots of women on their behalf in a midterm election, but they really stepped in it this time. The kinds of comparisons that they're using, the 70 cents on a dollar, 88 cents on a dollar in the White House, things that are just simple comparisons of men and women, are fraught with all sorts of problems. And interestingly, when the White House was confronted with the 88 cents, they started saying, well, that's some entry-level jobs and some higher-level jobs, and it reveals all the disproportionate weightings, and their proposals are to do exactly that. And so they have conjured up a solution that doesn't solve any problems and creates difficulties for everyone.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it is all about politics, as you so correctly alluded to. I mean, enough away from Obamacare. But, and I heard the pundits applauding, Ruth Marcus, Washington Post, applauding Barack Obama, talking about
stunning column by Ruth Marcus.
Yeah, how this is a triple play win for them. It's a triple win, and just convince women, she said, that they're under attack, whether it's true or not, and you'll bring them out to vote. And if that's what politics is all about, then boy, we have fallen.
But the difficulty here is that since the time of John Kennedy, it's been illegal to discriminate against women in the workplace on pay. Anyone who has discrimination in the workplace has a remedy in the courts, and the simple facts are that all you have to do is do what the Bureau of Labor Statistics and the Labor Department do, and you can get it down to 5 to 7 cents. That difference probably reflects time on the job, differences in effort and skill and age, and when you drill down real deep, this issue goes away. There isn't enough there to sustain it.
Douglas, you spoke about recently, they called it the account that I saw by Ben White at Politico, a thought-provoking opening address at the Center for Study of American Democracy, and you talked about the fact there is economic inequality in this country. I want you to address that. But it's nothing new. And, of course, when Obama and the Democrats talk about it, their remedy is that basically, I think Obama would love to see everybody have the same, make the same, earn the same, and be the same. And we know what that's called. But I think Chris Christie, and I'm no fan of Christie, was the one who talked about opening up the same opportunity for everyone. You can't expect the same outcome, and we shouldn't have the same outcome, but as long as everyone has the same opportunity. So talk about where we are, where we've been, and what we could do.
Well, obviously, this is a very important issue, and the reason I think it's, again, regained so much attention is this is a terrible recovery. And I think you have to lay that at the feet of the administration. They have not pursued the kind of pro-growth policies that would get people back to work, would get people a raise. Instead, they pursue all sorts of redistribution that doesn't create new income. Minimum wage from one person to another, equal pay from one person to another. That's really left American families hurting, and that's measures of inequality. The bottom hasn't fallen. We have more rich people. And if you ask the question, well, do you have a chance to get rich? Mobility hasn't changed in the past 50 years. So the opportunities are the same for people at the bottom, and the results are the same that we have more rich people. What's the problem with that?
Yeah, no, and you talked about rethinking the entire entitlement process to invest in the young rather than the old. Now, that sounds, from what I just said, and I know it's an inaccurate summary, but it's what I read from the Politico story. That sounds, not fair to the elderly. You're not suggesting taking away what they've earned and what they have coming. So what are you talking about?
I'm just saying there's a matter of concepts. Which is the way you would want to run the country? Make sure that at the beginning, everyone gets the same chance to acquire the skills to compete. Everyone gets the chance to acquire the financial capital to invest, save, have a retirement income, and thus allow people to finance their own retirement, finance their own health care costs in retirement, or don't do those things and be left with an entitlement program that has to pick up the pieces for too many elderly and rely exclusively on the government for their retirement lifestyle. I don't like the sound of the second one, which is where we're heading unless we fix things. I want to take care of the possibility of the first one. Let's get ahead of this problem and let people take care of themselves the way traditionally Americans have.
Let's talk about another issue that the Obama administration and the left has demagogued, and that's, of course, the hike in the minimum wage, which the CBO, for anybody who's interested, just recently said would wreak havoc economically in many respects. People would lose jobs. Lots and lots of jobs would be lost. I forget the exact number, over X amount of years. Also, the deficit would grow because of that. And you have a suggestion in lieu of raising the minimum wage. You suggest raising the earned income tax credit, correct?
If you're going to do something, that's a far better route. The difference between being poor and not poor in America is work and getting into a job and staying in a job. The minimum wage makes that harder. It gets in the way of 500,000 to 1 million people getting a job, and that's not solving poverty for anyone. Let's use something that has worked. The earned income tax credit has been very successful and maybe targeted on a group, in particular young single men, that are pretty much left out. They have a skinny credit of about $400 a year. If we want to do something that will get people into work and then get them past relying on the government assistance into a full-time career.
All right. You also talk about comprehensive immigration reform as something you'd like to see to help the economy. I must be slow because I'm one of those people who don't understand how when there are no jobs now for us who are here on all levels, and people who have gone back to work have taken lower paying jobs and lesser jobs and are overqualified for jobs that they have. So if there's not enough jobs for people here, how is letting more people into this country on every level of job quality, high, low, in between, how is that going to help the economy? Won't we have that much more unemployed people?
Well, I think there are two responses. The first is to sort of get the timing right. We're not going to get this done in a month or a week, and I at least would like to hope that we get better policies and get out of this recession relatively quickly, so that when I think about this issue, I think, well, how do we want to set up an immigration system for the 21st century, and what should it look like? And to me, it should have an economic component, something the U.S. has never done, and recognize that when immigrants come to the United States, they are disproportionately entrepreneurial. They start businesses at a much higher rate than the native-born do. Those businesses, new businesses, are a traditional source of job growth and a traditional source of vitality. I want that here. I don't want it competing with us from Asia or Europe or Africa. I want the best and the brightest to continue to be attracted to the U.S.
All right. Douglas Holtz-Eakin, always great to talk to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, folks. There you go. Very interesting conversation from a man who knows. He was also the chief economic advisor, I believe, to the McCain campaign in 2008. And boy, oh boy, any road taken except the road we're now on would have been a better road, as we have seen over the past 6 years almost. Okay, when we come back, we are going to talk to Kendall Coffey, and we are going to go spinning the law right here on the Steve Malzberg Show on Newsmax Television.
The Steve Malzberg Show.